Hello, so in my screencast, I kind of just want to point out some things that stood out to me going through the Common Core standards. For instance, I'm going to start off with the writing section, and I'm going to go to grades 9 through 10 because hopefully I'll be teaching a high school class. I realized that a lot of the standards are kind of the same from grades 9 to 12 in terms of like text types and purposes, and they basically really want them to like be able to write arguments and support these claims in an analysis. So to me that kind of means like going through the readings and finding textual evidence to support what you kind of think about them, and that's kind of what I did when I was in high school, and I never really realized that it was actually a standard until now. Same with providing a concluding statement. They kind of made that part vague for me. For what I know of a conclusion, it's kind of like your wrap up of your whole thing. I don't know, maybe I thought it would be more explicit, but I mean, there's that. There's also, I'm going to move on to speaking and listening for grades 9 through 12. So they sort of the same thing as with writing, but they want you to be able to formulate your ideas into a speech. And I think that's important too, because even though you're writing a speech, you when you're actually speaking, it's more concise, and you are like using a digital media such as like PowerPoints or maybe even a video. And I think that's really important that they put that in there, like make strategic use of digital media and presentations to enhance your findings, because I mean, even now we're using presentations and videos to kind of show what we've learned and what we understand from the readings that we are reading in class, and we're being concise about it, making sure that everything is kind of pointed out, the important things, making sure we're grabbing from those facts. And they kind of have the same thing for grades 11 to 12 too, like with speaking and listening. Now for language, grades 9 through 10, I thought it was interesting that the standards are use a colon to introduce a list or quotation. And I never really thought that was a standard, to learn how to use a colon or to even spell correctly, just because those are things you learn in elementary school. I think I learned how to use a colon maybe when I was in middle school. And yeah, I felt like that was the kind of standard to kind of have for a middle school class rather than like a high school class. Maybe that's just me having high expectations. I don't know. Going on from language, we're going to go grades 11 through 12. Same, spell correctly. And let's see, standard English capitalization, punctuation, spelling when writing. Vocabulary, accusation, and use. I thought this one was very important, to identify and correctly use patterns of word changes that indicate different meanings or parts of speech. So yeah, like I like the examples they gave: conceive, conception, conceivable, just because those aren't words that we like typically use, but they are words used when we're writing or even reading. So I also thought that was important. I think these Common Core standards, a lot of them are repetitive, but it's good repetition, because then you have that structure and you have that stable foundation for children to kind of build off of. And it's not just like, okay, you've learned one standard, you're solid at it, you're good at it, not on to the next. It's kind of like we're going to keep practicing these things, and you're going to become better at using them, and you're going to be, you know, proficient at them. And I think that's really important as well, that there's a lot of repetition in the Common Core standards.